Okay, today on the Embroidery 2 channel, we're going to be doing graduation stoles or sashes. And we're going to talk about them. First thing I'm going to talk about is them and how they're made, because that's very important when you go to embroider sashes. Now, we're going to look at both of these sashes because one has no embroidery on it at all, and the other one does. Okay, this one has got embroidery on it. And it was embroidered before they put the second layer on the other side. So let's take a look at the other side. As you can see, it says Berkeley. You can't see any embroidery on that side. So they embroidered that side and then they sewed it together. So this was done at the factory where they're actually making the sashes or the stoles. So some of you people that make your own stoles, and you can sew it all, that's the way to do it properly, or to do it right. If you're a sewer, which we aren't, we're an embroidery company, we don't sew stuff. So we're embroidering right through and using our backing. So let's flip it back over. Of course, there's two layers, almost like a jacket. So one layer in the front, another layer in the rear. They are not attached to each other. So that's the trick. What I'm going to be using is the magnetic hoop to embroider it. And on this particular one where we're going to embroider, it's just going to be a quick embroidery to show you basically how we do it. We're just going to put Cal above Berkeley. Cal Berkeley. And these are the colors for Cal Berkeley. We're just going to put Cal over that. And then we're also, let's take a look at the other sash or graduation stole. Same kind of thing. This one's just totally bare, nothing embroidered. And you can buy them blank like this, then embroider. Remember, when you do embroider through them, you know, on the other side, of course, you're going to have your backing. And remember, these are like literally like silk material, so I recommend that you use a thin font, connecting script, nothing like a font that's going to be too bold, because it's just going to make it pucker even more. You're going to try to pull out, as I'll show you, you're going to try to pull out all the wrinkles and make it nice and smooth. The other thing I like to do is spray a little spray adhesive, and it'll help the back to stick onto the cutaway, and it'll make it to stick nice and good. But that doesn't help you with the front, because they're separate from each other. So you'll have to pull it out and smooth it out as best as possible. Now when you sew something really bold, it's going to definitely be pulling on it. It'll make it pucker a little bit more. So thinner scripts are good. This isn't too bad. They're using a thinner script. And it's not that bold. Thinner, thinner, thinner. Nice. Pretty nice. I like it. That's the kind of a font I would recommend, or some connecting script, that kind of stuff, not big block letters. That doesn't really turn out as well. So if you can recommend to your customer what kind of font to use, that's what I would recommend. So all we're going to do is a quick little embroidery where we're going to put Cal above Berkeley here, and we're going to embroider that in there and talk to you about the setups and which way I found to be a good setup to do. You can do it the way you want it, but there's such a long sashes that you got to be very careful. I've already made a mistake when I was doing my first sashes. So yeah, it's very easy if you put it on the machine straight through like this, for this to actually get under like this. If you don't be very careful and it sews right through, that means you're sewing right through, and then you can't get the hoop off, and then you ruin the sash. So that's the issue. You got to always make sure this is clear and this is pulled and out of your way, so you don't have that issue. If you're in a hurry, sometimes you don't pay attention, and then what happens is you sew right through two layers. Well, you can't get it apart without cutting it apart. So that ruins the sash. And don't worry, that can be done very easily. The other way you can set it up is turn 90 degrees and hoop it sideways so that the sash will hang sideways. So the sash will hang sideways, so you're hooping it sideways. Turn it 90 degrees. So we'll take a look at that too. Those are the two ways. You can decide which way you want to embroider it, what's better for you. So this is just the first things that we're talking about when we're talking about doing sashes or graduation stoles. Let's hoop this up and we'll show you a little bit about how it goes and embroider a quickie. Okay, let's take a look at our first setup. I've done it sideways, so we'll have to turn the design 90 degrees and embroider that golden yellow on it, which would be cal. So this is one way you can do it. And you can see they're around 5 inches in width. They variate a little bit, 5 1/8, 5 1/4, a little less than 5. It matters who's making these sashes. So as you can see, the hoop itself is very close to 5. So it makes it easy to center. Remember, you spray some spray tack. We're using a Weblon, 2 layers of Weblon. And that works real nice for us. And then, of course, spray a little spray tack on there. That'll help the bottom portion, which is this side, to smooth out really well. But the top, you have to pull out as much of the wrinkles as you can. Pull it out, smooth it out the best you can. And then, if you want to, you can even steam it. Steam it will help it to shrink just a little bit in the area, gets it nice and smooth, and it makes it really nice. So you might want to steam it after you get a hoop like this in that area, help it to shrink a little bit, because it does shrink a little bit when you put a little steam to it. So you can do that too to get the wrinkles out, help to get those wrinkles out. Then you're ready to take it over to the machine and embroider. The other way, of course, you do it just straight, which we'll show you next. We'll show you that right after this. Okay, let's take a look at the final technique of doing it straight up and down. And here's our 5.5 Mighty Hoop by Hoopmaster. We have it hooped up, and you see there's still a little bit of wrinkles in here. You're never going to get it perfect. So this hasn't been steamed yet. If you steam this is going to help to get these wrinkles out. And then, of course, you want that thin font, which we're going to be doing and putting cal right above where it says Berkeley sideways like this. Well, that's what we're going to do. So it's going to say cal sideways, and then you'll see that Berkeley same color, which will be that golden yellow. That's all we're going to do in this little video. That's coming up next on the Embroidery to You channel. Okay, we were bound the machine, SWF machine 1501E series, and I've set this up in settings 270 degrees on my settings so that I can turn it sideways and make this fit the right way. Then we're going to try doing it this way, and this way the ribbon gets to hang down and you don't have to worry about it hanging lengthwise and causing you issues with, like I've done before, and actually got the ribbon or the actual sash caught underneath, which caused it to ruin that sash. So that can happen, so you got to be really careful if you are doing it straight up and down. So let's take a look at how I've got it on the machine, and you'll see the difference. That's coming up next. Just turn it and we'll take a look. Well, there's our setup. As you can see, it's hanging down on the sides. This works out really nice. Now you're going to be embroidering it sideways, and then it should work out really nice. You won't have that issue like I told you about before. I've steamed this so it looks real good. The most wrinkles are out, so let's see what it turns out like using the font that we're using, which is similar to the Berkeley font that they have on there. Sort of matched it up. We're just going to put cal over the Berkeley area, and that's coming up next on the Embroidery to You channel. Okay, let's get this video started. It's going to be a quick little video. We'll only have about 2,000 stitches. won't take long to do this sash or this graduation stole. It can be total custom. It can be anything they want pretty much. If it fit in this magnetic hoop. Now remember, you can do stuff bigger. You can use even your, like we have the 11 by 13, I think it is, magnetic hoop for the back of jackets. That could be used also. Or you could just use a bigger hoop on your standard hoops and do the same thing. So whatever you'd like to do will work out just fine. Don't be afraid to do these sashes. Normally people come in with just one or two at the most. A lot of them just one. So it takes a long time to get this all set up and ready to go. So remember, you have to charge them for your time to set this machine up. Because it does take a while to set it up and make sure that you got it running in the right direction. If you have an older machine, of course, embroider something out first on some material and make sure you're going in the right direction before you continue putting it onto the sash. So we're almost going to be done here, and then we'll take a look, and we're going to have embroidery done on a graduation stole or a sash. So remember, this video is on the Embroidery 2 channel. Remember to subscribe to our channel and see a lot of other cool videos that are coming up. And like I say, we got about 2,000 stitches. We're using the web lawn, which will cut out of the back. And if you want to use the web lawn and some tearaway, you can do that also. And we're all done. Let's take a look at it and see how we did. Coming up next on the Embroidery 2 channel. Okay, let's take a look at our finished product. It looks great. There it is. Cal Berkeley. We added the cal in there, and it could be anything in there that the customer would want. So either side, there's plenty of places to embroider on one of these graduation stoles. I hope you enjoyed our video and the tricks and tips that I just told you about. Try it yourself. Get a sash, play around with it. They're not that expensive, and get it down, and then you can do the stuff from all your colleges and graduations from all your high schools and all your different schools that have graduations. They are going to need these stoles. They want the graduation stoles, or they want the sashes for different pageantries and things like that. So it's a good thing to learn to do if you aren't doing it yet. I hope you enjoyed the video on embroidering on graduation stoles or sashes. Remember, subscribe to the Embroidery 2 channel, and we'll see you next time. You have a great day!